Hi, everybody. So it's April. I'm a little camera shy, so that's why you rarely see me filming myself. I just film the work, but I thought I would try something different today. We are looking at the Embrilliance embroidery software, and I have the stitch level one. It goes up to a level three, and then they have a slew of suites that you can purchase to add on to your software for whatever the needs are that you have with embroidery. So move this out the way. I'm going to be doing a triple layer applique today. It says mama, and that's all the crave. I mean, all the crave. And I want one for myself. So I decided I was going to purchase this, of course, from Etsy and really play around with it. So when you open up, okay, first let me explain something. I'm going to be using a 5x12 repositional hoop. I have a Brother SE2000 sewing machine. And when you buy it, the largest hoop that it comes with is a 5x7, right? But if you purchase a 5x12 repositional hoop, it will allow you to make larger embroidery fouls, okay? And that's what we're going to do today. I could just use the 5x7 and choose a smaller image and just do it that way, but I want it to be a little bit larger. It'll be on a sweatshirt and it'll just look, just look better to me, bigger. So in order to get that foul prepped for my sewing machine, I have to make some adjustments here in Embrilliance Embroidery. So that takes us to this software that we're looking at. When you open up, it probably defaults to this here, hoop 100 millimeter by 100 millimeter, AKA a 4x4 hoop. In order to change that, you click on this preference button here, and it's going to open up everything for you. So you have your hoops, display settings, yada, yada, yada. To be completely honest, I've only ever really used this page here. Now, in order to find the 5x12, you have to click over on multi-position. And it just so happens that I know it's this one, the 130 by 300 jumbo hoop, or as it states here, a 5x12. Also, your format, make sure you choose the correct format for the foul that you need for your embroidery machine. I have a Brother, so PES or PES is what it defaults to. So that's what we have already. If not, click this drop box and you have some to choose from. All right, we're going to click on apply and okay. So as you all have noticed that our hoop size has changed. It's a little bit larger and it says it down here 130 millimeter by 300. For the tutorial purposes, I am going to rotate the hoop, even though it's going to embroider exactly in this direction on the machine, which you'll see. But just to show you all how we're going to do this, I'm going to flip it and you can just double click here. Or if you want from this box, you could have rotated it. So either way, see that? Either way, it's just easier for me to just flip. And you don't have to keep going back and forth to the preference box. So let's find our foul. And here it is, right? So we have a folder for 10.5 inch, 9 inch, 8, 7, and 6 for the different foul sizes. You want to pick the one that you know it's going to fit within our 5x12. If you have if you have an embroidery machine that can accommodate like really big sizes, the sky's the limit for you. I have a limitation of a 5x12 hoop. That's the largest mine will go, right? So I just want to show you all this just as an example, even though we're not going to use this size. A 10.5, let's say you did try to use it. I'm just going to drag that over. Here it is. And obviously this red pops up down here. And what this is saying is that this foul is too big for the hoop you've indicated that you will be using. So this lets you know, like that's an obvious indicator that it's going to be too big. And even if you try to resize it like I did, if you click on it, you can make it slightly smaller or larger. A lot of the times these will change for you. Even if you try to make it smaller, we're going to center it. That ain't going to help it. All right. Like the little kid on TikTok, that ain't going to help it. Okay.
That ain't gonna help it.
So you're going to have to choose a smaller size. We're going to delete that. And then we're going to be for real and go to something that will accommodate our project, which will be this size here. There we go. So let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, much better. So now that we've zoomed in, let's look at see what we have. And I'm going to move this over here. All right. So this now shows you all of your stitches, right? So it looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to be 6 different stitches. That's why you have all of these colors down here. And technically, it doesn't matter. You don't have to change it. You can literally save it and you're done. Okay. But what I like to do is look at what I'm actually stitching out, especially if I'm doing applique. So here's our first layer, which is really like that first, is it called a basin stitch, y'all? I'm still new to embroidery, so if I get something like wrong, just let me know. Sorry. If I get something wrong, just correct. Let me know in the comments or whatever. So that's going to be the first one. So as soon as this tacking stitch goes down, I'm going to put a piece of cloth, whatever my cloth is, I'm going to put that over the image. Okay. And then so on and so forth. So this particular color, you see how it pops up? This is the thread brand. You have Madeira, you have La Paletta, you have all these Genome, you have all these brands. I use Brother, so I'm going to just change it to Brother. And let's just say I want to do black, okay? Just a simple black. You can type in black, and there it is. So that's going to change it. Then we can click here. There's this blue color. Or you could just click on your design and look at all of them at one time. This one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to change it over to Brother. There is a way to make your preference, whatever thread it is that you use all of the time. I don't remember how to do that. So I'm just going to type it in manually, no big deal. So now my first 2 layers of stitching are black. Okay, so we have this. Let's just say I'm going to do red. Go back to my embroidery and I'm going to find the color red. And see these hues of red with the exception of polar white. Not sure why that's there, but there's red. And for the stitch right behind it, or that's going to go on top of that one, I'm going to choose red again. So another way that you can search for what you're looking for, except besides typing in a color, if you have the name, for whatever reason you have your thread name, you can type your thread name in or the number. So we know that by looking in the properties for the thread colors, red happens to be 149. We type that in and boom, we have our red. So double click and there it is. Now, hold on. So now you see it coming, into itself. I could leave, I don't know. I might do I might do black again right here, or I might do red on the outside and black once I get to my machine. I really don't know. This is just me showing you all this for tutorial purposes. And the reason why this can be important for some people is if you're doing a mock-up for a customer, this would be a really great way to show them what the colors are going to look like on the final product. Otherwise, like for me, when I just do things for friends and family or for myself, I just put my colors in when I get to the machine, and I don't really care about this, what the colors look like on the actual file. But oh, black. And there it is. So that's what mine will start out to be. And obviously, this is going to incorporate something. Oopsies. This is going to incorporate something that has Georgia in it, UGA. So let's see if I make this larger. And if I go here, you guys see this little button. This centers all your designs into the middle of the hoop. So I just made it slightly larger. And down here it's still telling me that it fits in our hoop. I'm going to zoom in just to examine this first, even this little box that y'all see. And somebody tell me if you know how to do it. How do I take this out of my design? This box, because when you go to stitch this first line, this box will actually be there for you to stitch out, which I just skip over that part. But if I could just take it off of the design altogether, that would be great, because I don't want the box. But it looks like we'll be right there within, so I'm gonna save it. All right, let's save it. So how you save your split design, because that's what this will be. This is actually a split design, a split foul. And when you're doing the 5x12, because you're trying to stitch a foul that's larger than what you normally would on your machine, it has to break it down into 2 separate fouls. And then so you take with the repositional hoop, you will lock it in the first 2 little clips, and you're gonna do the first part of the embroidery, and then it's gonna say it's done. You will take that out, and then you shift it to the last 2 or the bottom 2, however you're looking at it, clips on your hoop, and then you go back and find your next foul, and then it'll stitch out the second part of your stitch. Okay. So we're gonna save this. Go up here to foul, and you want to do save stitch foul as. So let's just do 3D mama. That's it. And it's a split. So we're going to click on save. And then I want to show you all what it actually ends up looking like. So on my drive, 3D mama, and it says bottom number 2, top number 1. And that's just telling us like, hold on. And that's just telling me that it's going to be 2 separate files. Which one is the top, which one is the bottom. And I'm going to delete the one that I did yesterday so I don't get myself thrown off. And yeah, that's that. So I will see you all over at the embroidery machine. And maybe before that, I'll show you the fabric that we're going to use. The fabric we're going to use actually is going to be really cute. I'm going to do some red and black vinyl, and I'm also going to do an actual fabric that I purchased from Joann that has the UGA pattern on it. You can make your own fabric. We've done that in the past before as well, but I purchased this one because it was 30% off, and we're going to apply some heat and bond to the back of it. And that heat and bond just kind of helps keep things from fraying, because this particular pattern does not have an embroidery, it doesn't have a satin finish going around the edges. So those edges will be kind of left out there. And so I think that's going to help us like at least curve some of the frame that we're going to get from using this type of design. So I'll see you all later. Bye.
All right, y'all. So one very important step that I failed to mention is that before we save that stitch, remember we did the save stitch as, you want to make sure that you flip your hoop and everything back to how the foul will embroider. Okay. So again, we're using the 5x12 repositional hoop. We are going to flip the hoop back this way, and we're going to click on our image and we're going to flip that. So then you save it in this manner. Okay, so we do make sure you do that. I'm so sorry I missed that part. So let's continue on. So this is it's a large. No, actually I think this is a medium, an 8 to 10. So large depending on the person, but a little black sweater from Walmart. And the fabric that's going to go on the outer layer is this Georgia fabric here. And then I have some heat transfer vinyl, this glitter black, and then this glitter red. So this is what we'll be using. Now these are heat transfer, so they're going to be good to go. I'm just going to cut them down to size, but I am going to cut some fabric from here to cover our applique and apply some heat and bond. You have to take this plastic part, that top plastic layer of that vinyl, you have to remove it. All right, I know most people thinking like, well, duh, but no, everybody don't know. I didn't know the first time I did it, and I messed up a project. So remove the plastic and make sure you have like just this flimsy piece of vinyl. It should feel just like your fabric. All right. So here's my shirt turned inside out. This is the center of my shirt. I'm going to take some white tailor's chalk. If this was a white fabric or another fabric, then you can use your erasable pen. And I'm just going to do a line like this. So that was our chalk line. And I'm aligning it with this right here on that table. This is half of the shirt. So now when I'm going to put this on, I actually can take this line and line it up from top notch to bottom notch, or bottom notch to top notch to bottom notch. Always remember your tag or your label should be facing you. All right, we're going to smooth this on out. And here I'm just showing you how to remove that border. You go to that needle and thread icon and you press the plus sign, basically to skip that stitch. And then that first one is the one we'll be working on. So here's our basting stitch. And once that tacks down, I'm going to put our first layer of fabric. Alrighty, so you guys are going to see me unclip the hoop and reposition it to the last two clips so that we can embroider the second half of this foul. Because it's a split image and we are doing applique, you have to do this in between each layer for one uniform effect. So I'm just trimming the extra cloth. And here's our first layer, which is super cute. All right, and then I'm going to show you all just kind of a more detailed step by step. So this is our second layer, which is the red glitter vinyl. So I skipped the first thread, which was the black, and skipped to red. And this is the first half, or the first embroidery foul. Now we have to do the second foul. I'm just showing you on the machine. You're going to go back, find your USB. We saved ours in split designs. Takes it a couple of seconds. And we're looking for the second half. There it is. And I'm moving it down. I did adjust everything to go down to the bottom as much as it could. So make sure you keep everything uniformed in that aspect. And as you can see, there is that white thread and black thread. We need the third one. So click on the stitching icon. And then you're just going to press the plus sign to get us to that red thread. Once again, remove it and clip in your bottom half, since this is the second half of the embroidery foul. And you just repeat that all the way through. It really is just that simple, but you have to just pay a little closer attention, and you know, that's it. And trim as you go. Here is basically the shirt now that I had to cut everything out. And I think it looks great. There are a few little things. I poked a hole there. Let's take it off of our hoop. Of course, remember we used 2 layers of regular tearaway, which we can just pull. I'm using the Silky Tender Touch, I don't know, I guess that's stabilizer or some type of fabric. Before I apply it, I'm just snipping the extra threads. And you want to hold it down. It says, I think, 270 for 10 to 12 seconds. I didn't have my heat press, so I just used the little Cricut Mini and held it down to get that to adhere. And this will keep you know, the rough side of that embroidery patch from rubbing against your skin when you're wearing your clothes. I really love this when I do the baby products. And so yeah, here we have it, you all, the final product. So let me know what you all think. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.